it's obviously the best squad we can actually put together, which really has been the first time since the qualifiers in Bulawayo that we've been able to do that because we've had so many injuries. So it's great to have people like Blessing and Tendai back, and Craig Irvin and Milton and Wellington. So it might seem strange to some guys that some of the blokes who've been playing regularly over the last couple of months have not made the tour, but that is the situation as it is. Our best players are back from injury, and it's great to have them.
And obviously, still on that one, talking about that one, the kind of impact that they are going to give maybe to you. Obviously, you mentioned that these are the best players that we have that are coming back into the team. Maybe what kind of effect and impact that you feel they are going to give going into this World Cup?
Well, firstly, I think the last 3 months, we've had a great opportunity to play a number of people, so it has widened the strength of our squad in depth. But to have your best players back makes a huge difference. To me, T20 games are they're exciting for the crowds. I see lots of fours and sixes, and that's nice. And if you've got a good batting side, that's excellent. But actually, if you want to win T20 games, you've got to have a very good bowling side. So it's great to have back within those 5 players that are coming back. We've got 4 bowlers in there, 2 in the seam department and then 2 in the spin department. So they make a huge difference to our bowling attack.
And obviously, you do mention maybe your reaction. You talk about these 5 guys coming back. There's been this outcry over Marumani. He's in the reserve side, but people didn't understand maybe the rationale of him being left out of the team. Obviously, about him playing the top order, but the return of these guys. Maybe your response to and maybe making it out clear out there.
Look, there are a couple of guys that can put their hands up and feel a bit unlucky. Innocent is also very unlucky. He got 100 against India. And he's got got some good starts in Australia too. I think what people must understand is T20 is a different game to 50 over cricket. Okay, so when we played the qualifiers in Bulawayo, Marumani didn't play a game, so he didn't make our side. Now since then he's made a couple of starts in both T20 but mainly in 50 overs, and he's done okay. He hasn't got a 50 yet, an international 50. So in the last 3 months. So there's nothing really that he can, that people should actually be saying, oh no, he should be in the head of so-and-so or somebody else, because unfortunately the records don't lie.
Yeah, exactly.
As I say, Innocent's probably in a more unlucky phase because he got 100 against India. But it is what it is, and this T20 side, especially with our best players back, is the side that we won the qualifiers with, and it's the side that we have the most faith in going towards this World Cup that will qualify again and get into the final rounds.
Okay. And obviously now coming back into this T20 World Cup, maybe starting with you were with Zimbabwe, that is back in 1999, being a coach, and now going back to this World Cup again with Zimbabwe. How does it make you feel, and what is it that you're expecting going into this World Cup?
Well, first of all, it's such a privilege. I've said it a couple of times to coach the national side, and I'm actually very humbled and privileged to be coaching this side again. The fact that our results have shown an upturn in the right direction is also promising as well. World Cups are something that you don't take for granted because you don't always get there. I was lucky enough to play in a couple of them, and I was lucky enough to go as a coach, as you say, in 1999 with them, but I haven't been to a World Cup since. So for me, this is a huge occasion. What are we looking at for this World Cup? Well, the first thing is we're definitely looking to qualify. So we're in a pool with the West Indies, Ireland and Scotland. And we need to come within the top 2 of those to qualify for the next rounds. As far as I'm concerned, we should be looking to win that pool. I don't see anybody in that pool against us that we can't beat on a good day. So for me, that is the first and plain objective for the players. We're going there to qualify first in our group, and then we can see how we go from there.
And obviously now you are going back to Australia maybe less than a month after being there. What kind of confidence does it give to you in the lads going to this World Cup?
Yeah, look, first of all, the Australian tour was a good tour. It was 50 over cricket, but it's much the same squad we had. And it gave us a real confidence boost winning that third one day. And the first 2 one days we got beaten quite badly. I wanted to say in press conferences afterwards that the wicket wasn't very good. But you don't want to say that if you're losing, because people say that's just an excuse. So it was really good for us that we won the third game, where I could then say this was not a good wicket. And any side that batted first on that wicket was going to struggle. Unfortunately, we lost the toss twice and batted and lost, and then we won the toss once and won. So it gave us great confidence to walk away from beating a side like that on their home ground. was magnificent. It really was for us, and the confidence boost it's given the players. So I think going back to Australia now, we're playing in different conditions completely though, because we play our first qualifying group games in Tasmania. And while we've just been up in the north of Queensland, it was quite hot, it was quite humid. Tasmania is still in winter. So we're going there, it's going to be 16, 17 degrees, it's going to be Jersey time and cold.
So we are not reading much into this past conditions?
Not in terms of the actual cricket skills department. I thought it was brilliant that we got one, and winning becomes a habit, and we've got a nice winning habit going at the moment. We feel like we can win every game. So that's given us great confidence, and that's as big a thing as any to take to the next round.
And maybe still on that one, we have seen this kind of a mixture within the team, the young players also gelling in, and the 10 of these players are gelling with these young guys. As a coach, how does it make you feel to have such these kind of guys gelling together?
Look, I think for any good side needs a blend of experience and youth. Especially in T20 cricket, you need your speed and your athleticism in the field and so on. You need to have your young guys in there doing their job, and they did a great job for us over the last 2 or 3 months. And our senior players have stood up when it's counted as well. That's the other thing. Raza's 300s, that really did give us a boost. We wouldn't be sitting here talking so positively about ourselves without those Raza 100s, because he helped us win 3 games. So there's a lot has been gelled nicely with the team. The youth are giving us the athleticism and the eagerness and the enthusiasm, and the senior players are giving us results. So the two are actually marrying themselves perfectly at the moment.
And obviously you bring up the issue of Raza here. And after winning that ICC award, Player of the Month award, as a coach and to the team, what kind of an effect does it bring to the team, and maybe the confidence and the boost it gives to the team going into this?
Look, I think we're as proud as him, of him as he might be of himself. I think it's such an amazing achievement to get an award like that in world cricket. To be the Player of the Month in world cricket is quite an outstanding achievement. He's bringing an incredible confidence to us. Zimbabwe over the years, and I'm sure you've followed them for as many years as I've been around as well, we've always had problems in the batting department. We've always been quite good in the field, and we've always had bowlers that can defend totals. But we need to put runs on the board. And so what Raza did with those 100s, he gave us confidence. He gave us huge batting confidence that we could again put big scores on the board.
And previously, you have mentioned maybe from maybe the lesson that you have learned from this World Cup qualifier that we hosted in Zimbabwe, and before we played against Bangladesh, Australia, and India, obviously. What have been some of the improvements that we've noted within the team that will make us maybe qualify for the Super 12 at this tournament?
Well, you can go through all 3 departments. Firstly, I think our fielding has improved dramatically. Over the sort of early 2000s, and after watching us in the field from afar, I wasn't involved, but from afar, we weren't a very good fielding side again. And one of the biggest strengths Zimbabwe's had over the years has been a very strong fielding side. I think now we're back somewhere near where our best, probably even better than some of the sides in the 90s. So the fielding has been a huge improvement, and the speed and agility of some of our youngsters, Wesley, Wellington, those guys, Brad Evans, in the field makes a hell of a difference to us in limited overs cricket. Our bowlers have become much more aware of what their function is in limited overs cricket, so we've narrowed all the thinking down to what is the actual prime thing that you're trying to think of and achieve, so that you take away all this, not guesswork, but too many thoughts in their head at the end of the run-up, and they're not doing one thing really well. We've managed to get them really well in doing simple things and just focusing on what their game plan is. And then I think from the batting point of view, obviously Raza's been the standout success, but Reggie's been batting really well. We opened with him in the T20, and we'll probably do it again. In the 50 overs, he batted in the middle, got a great 100 for us in one of the games as well. So, there's still stuff to come, because when you think of it, Sean Williams hasn't really contributed, and he's an outstanding player, so he's going to come to the fore very shortly. We've got a good batting lineup. We're looking at now actually having real success. So all departments have improved for me, but I think the one thing that's done it is our confidence.
And talking about this betting side, obviously, as a coach, it gives you maybe that satisfaction that it's no longer about the top order or the middle order, but it's now cascaded down to the bottom. As a coach, how does it make you feel? Was obviously someone would say after our middle order is collapsed, definitely we are out of it, but it has proved that they can still be in the game with our bottom order.
I mean, we've just done what world cricket's done. These days, if I go back to my days, which is probably 30, 40 years ago, the bowlers used to come to nets with their boots only. Nobody batted. It was only the batsmen batted. And world cricket's changed. I mean, even when I was, in county cricket and everywhere else, the bowlers get as much time with the bat in their hands as the batsmen do. So the end result of that is that everybody bats. And in T20 cricket, you can't afford to have a long tail. And Richard's coming in at 10 and making runs for us and making them quite sweetly. So we know Tendai Chatora can smack it around as well. So we've got batting all the way. Again, it just helps the confidence.
And obviously, lastly, maybe this will be my last one. You did talk about maybe the preparations. How are the preparations like going into this? Because we know it's maybe less than a month before the World Cup is going. And we have had some serious cricket over the past months.
Well, I think that was the biggest thing for me. The team I've taken over and Zimbabwe teams of the last couple of decades, you can never knock them for the amount of practice they do. In fact, for me, they practice too much. And they practice mundane stuff that's not going to help you. You need to practice quality over a short period of time, so you maintain your energies, your fitness, and you also practice in quality. If you're just coming in day after day batting against, you end up practicing making mistakes. And the bowlers end up practicing bowling mediocre bowling because they're just covering time. They're not really working. So that's one thing that we've changed, and it's changed quite substantially within the team, amount of practice. So actually, since Australia, since that last tour, when they came back here, I asked Walter, the strength and conditioning trainer, to work specifically on fitness only. I asked the other coaches, Stewie and Papa, and then in Papa's case, to work with the bowlers who are rehabilitating, little bit by little bit daily, at stumps generally, not at batsmen. And the batsmen, very few of them had one-to-one sessions with Stewie when they're trying to iron out a fault. But other than that, no practice. So our practice for this World Cup starts on Monday.